Namaste children. I welcome you all to yet another session of learning. Children, do you like to read stories? Yes, you all enjoy reading stories, isn't it? It boosts your imagination skills. Today, we are going to discuss the very first poem from Honeydew Class 8 English. The name of the poem is The Ant and the Cricket. The Ant and the Cricket is a fable written in a poetic format. It is adapted from Aesop's fables. Aesop was a Greek fabulist. Do you know who is a fabulist, children? Fabulist is a writer of fables. So Aesop was a Greek fabulist and storyteller credited with a number of fables, collectively known as Aesop fables. He was believed to have lived in ancient Greece between 620 and 564 BC. Right? Now let us know what is a fable. A fable is a short story, typically with animals as characters, conveying a moral. So here you can see some stories, children. The fox and the crow, lion and the mouse, ant and the grasshopper, hare and the tortoise, the fox and the grapes, the lion and the mouse. So these are the famous fables. I think you might have read it, right? Now, this particular poem, that is The Ant and the Cricket, is a story of two insects, a cricket and an ant. The cricket is silly, that doesn't care about the future and keeps enjoying the summer season rather than collecting food or making a shelter for itself. On the other hand, the ant is wise. Instead of wasting time, it gathers food for itself and makes shelter. So now let us read the poem and find out what will happen in winter season or when winter comes. A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring, began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground. Not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? At last, by starvation and famine, made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, away he set off to a miserly ant, to see if, to keep him alive, he would grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. He wished only to borrow, he would pay it tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. Says the ant to the cricket, I am your servant and friend, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by when the weather was warm? Quoth the cricket, not I. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say? Go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Folks call this a fable. I will warrant it true. Some crickets have 4 legs, and some have 2. Adapted from Aesop's fables. Now, let us see the first 4 lines, children. A silly young cricket accustomed to sing. So here, cricket is given 2 adjectives, silly and young. So what does the silly mean? Silly means who lacks sense or who lacks wisdom. And this cricket is young also. Accustomed to sing. Accustomed means used to. So you can see the picture here, the cricket, it is singing. It is sitting on the branch of the tree and nicely it is singing. Through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. So here gay refers to enjoyable, happy. So as the summer, it is that particular spring season in summer, as it is it is full of life. There is greenery everywhere, food and water in plenty. So this the poet calls this particular season, that is spring and summer, as gay, so as happy and enjoyable. So in this happy and enjoyable season, that is summer and spring, this cricket happily it enjoys its days by singing. Began to complain when he found that at home. So began to complain. Who complained, children? Yes, it is the cricket. It began to complain. So why it wanted to complain? About what did it complain? Yes, it was complaining that its cupboard was empty and winter was come. So the winter season has arrived and the cupboard was empty. The cupboard is not filled with food, right? So here the poet says that this cricket was silly young and was used to enjoy during the spring and summer season. And the poet calls the spring and summer seasons as gay because this in this particular season the trees are full of greenery. So everywhere you can see greenery, full of life, food and water are in abundance. So here the cricket began to complain that it did not had anything in its cupboard, not even a crumb. So now let us see what happens when winter comes. So winter has arrived. We'll see what happened to cricket. Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground. Not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? So here, now what is the season here? Yes, the season is winter season. The winter season has arrived. So what was on the ground? So there was everywhere snow. There was no crumb. There was no piece of bread, no food to eat. And the ground is covered with snow and no flowers on the trees and no leaves. Okay, and now the cricket is worried. What is going to happen to it? So what will become of me? So this cricket says, what will become of me? So there is no food to eat. At last by starvation and famine made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, away he set off to a miserly ant to see if, to keep him alive, he would grant. So here the cricket was starving. So starvation means hunger. Without food, no food means starvation. And famine is unavailability of food. Made bold. Bold. Who became bold? It is the cricket who became bold. The cricket was starving and there was a famine and he did not eat anything. And it became bold and it has gathered its courage. It made himself bold. So why did it gather its courage? Okay, why did it muster up its courage? All dripping with wet and all trembling with cold. So dripping with wet means it's raining. See the climate, how it is. It's raining and the cricket is wet and it is shivering with cold also. Away he set off to a miserly ant. Set off means to seek the help of miserly ant. So it went to the ant's house. Okay, to see if to keep him alive he would grant. So it was telling its problem that it did not collect the food. So it has gathered its courage, it mustered up its courage and set off to seek the help of a miserly ant. And the weather, how is the weather, children? Chilly cold and rain. It made the cricket wet and shiver with cold. And it went to the ant's house and it asked him to grant something. So what did it asked him to grant? To keep him alive. So in order to keep him alive, what the ant has to do it, or what it is asking? So it is asking for food and shelter. Him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. He wished only to borrow. He would repay tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. So here, him shelter from rain. So it is asking, it is requesting to provide shelter from the rain. And also this cricket, it promised to repay it by the next day, or else he will die because of chilly cold and hunger and sorrow, starvation. With that, this cricket may die. So it is requesting, it is asking the ant to provide shelter and also food. Says the ant to the cricket, I am your servant and friend, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. So here the ant replies that he considers himself to be a servant and friend of cricket. The ant expresses a fact about them, that we ants never borrow anything from others nor lend anything. Okay. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by? When the weather was warm, quoth the cricket, not I. So here, quoth is an old English word, so it means said. So here, the ant asked the cricket, why didn't you gather anything when the weather was warm? That is during summer and spring, so which are considered to be the best time to collect food. Okay, so this is what the ant asked, why didn't you collect during the appropriate seasons or the best time when there was a time to collect the food. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir? You say? Go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. So here the cricket replies that its heart was so light, it was quite happy and did not care about the future. He sang day and night as the nature looked gay. So here gay means very happy, joyful. So as the nature was very pleasant, it felt like singing. Okay, so here now the ant says, go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. So here the ant tells the cricket that you sang the whole summer and the spring season, so now you go and dance in the winter. Go away, it says to the cricket. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Folks call this a fable, I will warrant it true. Some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. So here hastily means quickly. Okay, and here wicket, it refers to a small door, and folks are the people. And see the last line, some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. So here some have 2, here it refers to the human beings. Okay, so here the poet compares the lazy cricket to people, to human beings who are 2 legs people, to human beings who are careless in collecting food or in planning about their future. So here in this last stanza, the poet says that the story is quite true, because there are many crickets with 4 legs as well as with 2. So here it refers to human beings. So there are insects like cricket who don't care about future, and also humans who don't care about their future and repent when the time is gone. Okay, so here in this last stanza, the last stanza of the poem, it tells the readers that though this tale is believed to be a fable, it is no less than truth. Poet calls this the truth because what is true for the 4-legged cricket is also true for the 2-legged humans. Is this clear, children? So now we'll move on to the rhyme scheme. So now we'll see the rhyme scheme of the first stanza. Now rhyme scheme is you need to see the last word of each and every line, and you have to see whether they rhyme with the other word or not. Okay, so first line you have sing. Next line spring. So sing, spring. So both rhyme with each other. So we give alphabet A. Then next third line home, and fourth line come. Home and come both rhyme with each other, and they don't rhyme with spring and sing. So we give another alphabet, that is B. Next one found, ground. So found and ground both are rhyming, so we give C alphabet. Next one is C, tree and me. Okay, these 3 are rhyming and they don't rhyme with the other words, so we take another alphabet, that is D. So now the rhyme scheme of this particular stanza is A, B, B, C, C, D, D, D. Is this clear, children? So we'll move on to the poetic devices of the stanza. So now coming to the poetic devices, first we'll see the alliteration. So now you can see here, children, the definition of alliteration. Alliteration, it is the occurrence of same sound in the beginning of adjacent words or closely placed words. So beginning of the adjacent words or which are very closely placed. Now you can see in the second line, second line, that is summer and spring. Sir, sir. Okay, summer, spring. So both start with the same sound, that is sir and sir. So they are closely placed. So this is alliteration. Now we'll move on to another poetic device which we have here, that is anaphora. So what is anaphora? It is a word or a group of words used repeatedly at the beginning of a sentence or a beginning of a line. So now you can see last but third line, not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. So not and not are repeated. Okay, so they are repeated at the beginning of a line. So same word it is repeated. So this is not as anaphora. Is this clear, children? Now we'll move on to the second stanza and we'll see the rhyme scheme. So now rhyme scheme of the second stanza. See the last word, bold. Now the next word is cold. So bold and cold are rhyming with each other. So we take which alphabet? Yes, A. Then ant, grant. So ant, grant, t. So this they are not rhyming with bold and cold. Then we take another alphabet, that is B. Next rain, grain. So rain, grain, they don't rhyme with the other 4 words. So we take up C alphabet. Now the last one, now next one is borrow, tomorrow, sorrow. So these 3 rhyme with each other and they don't rhyme with the other words, that is rain, grain, grant, ant, cold and bold. So we take alphabet D, right children? So now the rhyme scheme of this particular stanza also is A, B, B, C, C, D, D, D. Now we'll move on to the poetic devices of this particular stanza. Now see the poetic devices. Again in the second line we have alliteration. So that is all dripping with wet. So were. So that is alliteration. And also you can see in the last line starvation and sorrow. So sir, sir. So that is also alliteration. Right children? Now we'll move on to the next stanza. So next stanza you have friend, lend. So friend and lend both are rhyming. So we take alphabet A. Then buy, I, not I is there, children, I and buy. So I, buy. So even the spelling is different but the sound is same. So we take alphabet B. Okay. Then light, night. So they both rhyme, right? So we take C alphabet. Next gay, say, away. So these 3 rhyme. So we take the next alphabet, that is D. Is this clear children? So here also the rhyme scheme is A, B, B, C, C, D, D, D. Right children? Now we'll see the poetic devices of this particular stanza. Now see the repetition. We'll see the repetition first children. So now you can see the definition over here. So what is repetition? It is a literary device that involves using the same word or phrase over and over again in a piece of writing or speech. So same word or a phrase that will be repeated. Okay, again and again it will be repeated. So what word is repeated again and again? That is we ants never is repeated. So we ants never is repetition. Now see the next one, alliteration. So where do we have alliteration? See here, when the weather was warm. So what is that sound children? Yes, were sound. So were sound is here alliteration. Now we have anaphora also. So anaphora we have the second line, but we ants, but tell me. So but it is repeated. So this is anaphora. Is this clear children? Shall we move on to the next stanza? Right. Now the last stanza, we have only 4 lines. Now we'll see the rhyme scheme. Wicket, cricket, true, two. So wicket, cricket, we give A, alphabet A. True, oo sound, two, oo sound. So the sound we have to see, not the spelling children, as you all know it. So we give B. Okay, so the rhyme scheme of this last stanza is A, B, B. Is this clear? Now we'll move on to the poetic devices of this particular stanza. We'll see it. Now here the poetic device, we have only one poetic device, that is alliteration. That is first line, he hastily, her sound. So they are same sound in the beginning of adjacent words or closely placed words. They are very close to each other, right? Okay, so H, her sound. So not the alphabet, it is the sound, her sound. Here it is alliteration. Now coming to the moral of the poem, children. So what is the moral of this particular poem, The Ant and the Cricket? Yes, here it is. We must ensure that we should be aware of our present deeds so that we may live happily and prepare to face bad times of our life. We should follow the work culture of an ant. Yes, really, it's very true that we need to follow the work culture of an ant, children, and also we have to plan in order to face the bad times of our life. So for that sake, every one of us should be aware of our deeds, of our actions, that we need to live very happily. Yes, right, we all know that we need to live very happily at the present moment today, but we need to think about the tomorrow also. We need to think about the next time. So what is going to happen, and for that sake we need to plan. So it is not only we know that we need to live in the present moment, but at the same time we need to live for the next day also. For that we need to plan. Okay. So in order to plan, we have to prepare and plan out, work out on that, and we need to follow the work culture of an ant. So now live today and save for tomorrow. So that is the appropriate and apt moral for this particular poem. So I hope you all have understood the poem, its summary, and the rhyme scheme and the poetic devices, children. Yes, thank you.